Hey, we're talking about Furiosa. Up next on Geek Out SA.
Do not attempt to adjust your YouTube video. We control the stream.
And welcome back to Geek Out SA. It's Saturday, and we're having fun.
Yay!
So, yeah, we're talking about Furiosa today, and Colleen is adjusting the green screen right now because there's too much green there's no green on my shirt, but for some reason it's showing through my shirt.
Not all the way through, but you look like you're like phasing in and out or something. You're really fuzzy.
Yeah, you just need to like adjust the...
I don't remember how to do that.
It's when it... Are you on...
I'm on an OBS.
Yeah.
Okay, and then... Is it Vince?
That's all you are, is on OBS?
Well, on YouTube.
Has nothing to do with being on YouTube.
Well, then I'm on OBS.
Okay.
You're confusing me!
But are you on the scene? Are you on the... I don't know what you're on.
Yeah, so the scene Vince is in blue. And then... You're on it. You're sharing it with me. You can see where I am.
I just got there right now.
I don't know what's happening. Stop technologing me and asking me stuff.
So you come here, go to filters.
Oh, okay.
You right click and go
Vince
to filters.
Cam. Okay.
Chroma key.
Chroma key.
And then see, it's hard to see here, but
Can
you're
you
gonna have to
see
move
what I
you're gonna
can
have to
see?
move this out of the way, and then either just this one or this one.
Okay, well, let me
One
try.
of the two.
You sit in the middle and talk to people, because I...
So, yeah, so we're going to have her figure that out, even though I've shown her like 10 times already how to do it. But yeah, we're talking about Furiosa. We just saw it last week. This week.
Yeah, like Friday.
No, we didn't
No,
we didn't
Saturday.
see it. We saw it last week at Saturday. And this is something that I've been waiting for a long time because I really like the franchise. I've seen it from the very beginning. Did you see it from the very beginning?
Yeah, no, I did.
You saw Mad Max?
I saw Mad Max with Mel Gibson, so yeah, I've watched it all. I wasn't a fan, like I wasn't into all the lore and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was good at the time.
Yeah. Like the first one, Mad Max, had nothing to do
The first one
with
is
the rest of the franchise.
Super awkward, right? To me, like the acting is bad.
Well,
the
it wasn't-
cinematography is bad.
Because the apocalypse hadn't happened yet, right?
Right, he's still like a cop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like, it's starting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's coming around. So, and then I've gone back and watched the first one, obviously, since the 80s.
Right.
And now, of course, it's even worse.
Yeah.
Like now when you see it, it's so much worse. Like the camera angles are terrible. The acting is terrible. It's just like, I don't even know how they managed to get another movie in the franchise. The first one was so bad.
Yeah. So I think this one happens in between... Okay. So this one happens, of course, before Fury Road.
Right.
But but Fury Road happens before...
Thunderdome?
Whatchamacallit? No, yeah, before Thunderdome.
It's before Thunderdome.
It's before
right?
Thunderdome.
But are they trying to... So are they trying to put Fury Road and Furiosa in that original timeline, or are they trying to just kind of pretend the original movies didn't even happen?
No, it's still the same story.
So they want it to
It's
be
still
part
in
of
the
the
same
timeline.
saga.
Okay, they want it to be part of the timeline. Okay.
But it's kind of like iffy about where exactly it is.
Yeah.
Because I think when we start this one, it's 15 to 20 years before Fury Road. Something
Right.
like that.
Yeah. Something like that.
Something like that. We don't get exact dates because it's the apocalypse.
They tell us pretty much, though, it's about this long. And
Yeah.
then you see, because Furiosa is a little girl when we begin
Right.
this movie, and then you see her grow up into adulthood. And so you see those stages of life, so you kind of get an idea. And then when she sees Dementis at the end, I'm pretty sure they say, like, I think Dementis says, I can't believe it's been like 15 years or something like that.
Right.
I think he actually does say that in the movie.
Which, what is Dr. Dementis, right? Dr. Dementis. I think that's his name.
I thought
Chris
it was
Hemsworth.
I thought it was just Dementis. Chris Hemsworth as Dementis.
Yeah, I think it's Dr. Dementis.
Oh. I don't remember them calling
That's
him.
played by Chris Hemsworth, but it looks like him, but it doesn't because they do a prosthetic on his nose.
Yeah, they gave him some prosthetics, and they did something on his teeth too.
Yeah.
So you can see him in there if you know who the actor is.
Mm-hmm.
You can see him in there, but
It looks off. It looks good enough to think it's like
might be somebody else.
might be somebody else.
Yeah, you definitely do a double take on that, and you're like, I thought this was going to be Chris Hemsworth. Is that Chris Hemsworth? Yeah. So, and the nice thing about it is, I think because he's done the Marvel so much. Sorry, I worked really hard today, and now I'm tired. We associate him as Thor. So we see him a lot as Thor.
But the thing about Chris Hemsworth is he's one of the only ones that has done things after that have done well.
Is he?
Yeah. Like Tom Holland went on to do like Uncharted that didn't do so great.
I guess Paul Rudd did stuff before that was good. I don't know that he's done anything since then.
Yeah, he by himself after that he hasn't done anything good.
Robert Downey Jr. did a bunch of stuff before, but I don't know if he's done anything
right.
since.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. Yes, he has. He did Oppenheimer, and he was really good in that.
Oh, I don't know.
And we haven't seen it, but he apparently he did a really good.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
So like.
So I think it's just him and Chris, but Robert Downey Jr. is Robert Downey Jr. But those are like the only two that did well after, like really well.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of them had stuff before, and I think it's hard
because you see them as those characters.
Right, you get typecast. And I think that's what actors worry about when they go into these things is, am I going to get typecast as this character? And is it going to be hard for people to see me as another character? And so Chris Hemsworth as Dementis, Thor is kind of goofy. That's his personification of it. In the comics, he's not that goofy. But anyway, that's a whole nother side story. But,
right.
As Dementis, he's so unhinged. He's so awful. He's so maniacal. He is so very different from Thor that it's not too hard to imagine him in that role. I think the prosthetics help because it changes his appearance enough that our minds are kind of tricked into this is not Thor, right? But I think too is his
but
his
like
acting
he's played
is good
other
enough.
things that he didn't seem Thorish to me. Like, what was that one where he was like, they were at some hotel or something? There was a movie about a hotel.
Artemis?
No.
Hotel Artemis? No?
Maybe it was Hotel Artemis. Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to look. I don't care for actors, actresses. Like, I'm glad that they're in movies, but like as human beings, I think most of them are pretty horrible. So I don't like have memorized. Like I don't have a favorite
I remember
actress.
seeing him. Wasn't he in the remake of Red Dawn?
Yes, I think so.
He was in the...
But that was in
yeah.
the midst of the Avengers stuff, so he wasn't like at the tail end of the Avengers. He
Well,
was
I thought
in the
that was
midst.
before the Avengers. It was right before the Avengers.
I don't think so. I think it was in the midst of him filming that. Anyways, we're really...
Let me look that up.
We're okay. You look that up. We're really derailing today. So Chris Hemsworth is one of the major bad guys, Dementus, and he ends up with Furiosa when she's little. I don't want to ruin too much of the movie for you because it's a really good movie. He ends up with her, and you know, it's the apocalypse, so something has happened to his family. So even though he's horrible and cruel, he's not exactly very kind to Furiosa either. He kind of adopts her as his own.
Yeah, it happened the same year. They were released the same year.
Yeah, I thought it was concurrent. That's okay. So he takes on Furiosa as his own for a limited amount of time. Because he's always looking for something for himself. Even though he kind of takes her on and considers her his daughter.
Yeah.
When he's offered the opportunity to sell her up for what he actually wants, he sells her.
Yeah.
He gets rid of her. So...
But just because but it was life-changing if he was going to get what he was supposed to get. For all of his people.
Well, he wants to be, he wants to be the king of this whole faction, right? And he wants to grow his faction. And so he wants to take claim on a resource. Mm-hmm. And so in order to take claim of that resource, because when you're in the apocalypse,
and then we get
matter.
to actually find out more about Gastown, because in Fury Road we don't get to understand much about Gastown.
So I guess Vince is just going to tell you. So Dementus gets Gastown from Immortan Joe and his whole crew.
Well, just in the movie in general, we get to find out more about that.
Yeah. Well, because we see Gastown in Fury Road. We know about Gastown in Fury Road, but this gives us more of an inside look into what is in Gastown. What does it look like? What's happening in there? So yeah, we do get more of that storyline. And that's what Dementus gets. For other reasons, but also for giving Furiosa over to Immortan Joe. Mm-hmm. So then, obviously...
So is that the same town that was in The Road Warrior?
The Gastown?
Uh-huh.
No, I don't think so. Because
or is it a different one?
Yeah, Gastown is like very walled up. It's very fortified.
So was that one, but it was just in the beginning of it.
Yeah, but I don't think they let anybody into Gastown except for the people coming from... I forgot what they call it. It's not the cliffs, but wherever it is the Immortan Joe is. Mm-hmm. Or from the Bullet Farm.
Right.
They don't let anybody else in, so I don't see how Max would have gotten in. I don't think
Well,
Gastown
before we go on, we do have a clip of it. Let's go ahead and play it. Cue up one.
All right, here we go.
Furiosa! You've come too far. Furiosa! They took Furiosa!
As a child, my world was forever changed. My mother was magnificent. And he took it all from me.
Who do we have here?
She's from a place of abundance. This is our destiny.
My childhood. My mother. I want them back. I want them back!
Whatever you have to do, however long it takes, promise you'll find your way home. Protect the green place.
It's time to take what's rightfully ours!
He's mine.
There will always be war, but to get home, Furiosa fought the world.
Remember me.
That's it.
Yeah, and that was it. So, and they don't show a whole everything that happens in there on that. There's a lot of stuff that they don't show, which is one of the things that I like that in trailers where they don't show you everything.
Yeah, you get a lot. You get a lot from the movie that wasn't in the trailer, so it's nice to see the whole thing. I will say, from my perspective, I've talked a lot on the show, if you've been watching the show, I talk a lot about female characters being put into situations just to say they have female characters, right?
Right.
And so, at the beginning, we see where Furiosa is from, the place of abundance, the green place, where it's very much like the Amazonian women. It's all women. They protect one another. Her mother goes after her, and you see that in the trailer some, and she is a sniper to end all snipers. This woman can shoot.
Yeah.
Like, it's no joke. She can ride, she can shoot. They have stamina. They stay up all night. Like, even Furiosa, she's little and she's still fierce. Like, she grabs knives, takes people down even as a little one. Like, they have all learned to survive and to protect where they live.
And these are the people that we see right that are left right at the end of Fury Road, where she gets to where she's supposed to go, and it's not there anymore.
Yeah, and I've watched Fury Road a couple of times, and then when I was watching Furiosa, I thought, oh shoot, this is what I think this is. And so after we finished Furiosa, we came back home and I was like we have to watch.
Yeah,
we have to watch Fury Road right now. So we went in, started Fury Road, we're watching it, and when we get to the part where she thinks that she's gotten to the women that will finally take her the rest of the way to the green place, because now it's been like 20 some odd years, so of course she's forgotten some of it. She had a map, but she loses when she loses her arm. You know, there's a lot that goes on. So she gets there, here's these women, she thinks they're going to take her to the green place and all the rest of the women, and then you realize it's a very Atreyu moment where she's gone through the swamp, and that used to be the green place.
Yeah.
And so it breaks your heart, and you realize why she was so heartbroken. To me, they tied it all together so well. Like, there is so much that comes together in the second movie because we got the first movie, which they're not always good at. Sometimes when they try to go backwards, they don't do that as well.
Yeah.
But this, I thought, was a fantastic way to tie everything together.
Yeah, it really did, because then you understand why she doesn't have an arm. And that entire thing, because at the beginning of the movie, she has an arm. She has two arms.
Right. It's not like she was born a
yeah.
kid with no arm. Like,
because you're like, oh, it was because if we, in seeing Fury Road, you're thinking, oh, well, something happened because of the apocalypse.
yeah.
She lost it, like maybe gangrene set in or something like that. But no, something happens.
Yeah, and we don't want to tell you too much about what happens, because that'll ruin everything. But the other thing is, from a woman's perspective. So here I'm coming from a woman's perspective. You see this little girl in this apocalyptic world of really disgusting men or disgusting women. Like, they're really terrible. And so you're fearful of what is going to happen to her.
And for like half the movie, we don't even get to see Anya Taylor-Joy play Furiosa.
Right, because it's the little girl.
Yeah,
we get a lot of the little girl, which is nice. So we get to see, because obviously if you've seen Fury Road, you know what Immortan Joe wants her for.
Mm-hmm.
She's very pretty. She has, red hair. She has fair skin. And we already know from Fury Road that he has his wives.
Yeah.
That he makes these children, these mutated children from, right? So they give us a scene where she's in there with the wives. Obviously, it's a different wives than are in Fury Road because we've got like a 15-year difference or whatever. Yeah. But, and so then I'm like, please don't let this happen. Please don't let this happen. Please don't let this happen. And what's great is it doesn't happen. But it doesn't happen because of her strength, because of her conniving, because of her thoughts, because of what she plans and does.
Yeah.
Because she knows it's coming.
Yeah.
And so it's good to see that even though she's little, she has that ferocity.
Very, very strong character.
Yeah. So the woman that we see in Fury Road, yes, has built on some of the things that has happened to her, but she's furious. She's like from the beginning, from being little. Like when you see her on the trailer and she's climbing up to get the
apple
or the apple peach, or whatever it is. Yeah, the peach, because she has the pit.
Yeah.
And her sister's like, don't go that high or whatever. And you see her climbing the cliff and stuff. And from that very first moment, and which is great, right? Because they start you in the movie, and from those very first moments, they let you know that she's a force to be reckoned with, right?
Yeah.
So, for me, I thought that was great. I don't know if you cared as much because you're a guy, or what your take was.
I thought it was a way to show a strong female character. That changed throughout that entire time. Because I think, the whole thing plays into Fury Road.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, completely.
Like, you get some Fury Road in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, you get the buildup of what Fury Road's going to become.
No, you get the buildup of what Fury Road is because you have, let me stop there.
It's been a week, so you might as well just talk about it.
So you get her loading up the wives into her truck. And you understand why her truck meant so much to her throughout the movie.
Right, and you get to see how she knows where all the hiding spots are and everything. So I guess if we're going to ruin it for everybody, we might as well ruin it for everybody, right? So if you're this far in, we're about to ruin it. So if you haven't seen it, back off, pause. So they go to make her one of the wives, and she escapes, and then she doesn't have anywhere to go. So she still has to stay there in Immortan Joe's camp. So the only way to survive is to blend in and be a boy.
Mm-hmm.
And she pretends to be a mute boy.
Yeah.
And she's good, and she picks things up, and she pays attention, and she learns, and she becomes a mechanic.
Well, then they don't know her as Furiosa. They don't know her name because she's not talking. So she becomes Furiosa at that time. But when she starts helping with the truck.
Yeah. Yeah. Because nobody finds her out her name or anything until, what is his name? Praetorian Jack?
Yeah.
He's the first driver of the truck before her.
Mm-hmm.
And they try to kill each other. It's a whole thing. And he finds out that she's a woman, but he just sees her fierceness, and he's like, you know, I could really use somebody like you, because they've had this kind of road war that he's seen like what her talents are. And so he's like, oh, I guess I could kind of use you, right? And then what I like is it's not that Disney princess kind of love story, right?
Right.
Because she didn't like him. She has no intention of liking anyone. Her only goal is to get back to the green place.
Right.
So it's nice to see their love story grow over the course of them doing these runs, you know, being in the road wars together, you know, defending the truck, things of that nature.
But it's more like brotherly, almost like a brotherly love for a...
You didn't get the sense that she was in love with him when they drag him and kill him? She was in love with him.
She cared about him. I don't think she cared about him. I never got the romantic from it at all. I didn't.
Maybe you watch it again. The way they sit with each other and touch each other, and the way Dementis says, oh, you love him? Well, I'm going to take him away from you. I mean, she, like...
Yeah, but Dementis knows that she's a girl.
Well, yeah, by then. But just because you're a girl doesn't mean you love a guy. I don't know. I got a love story from that. Maybe you didn't, but maybe we need to watch it again, and I'll see if you see the same love story that I saw.
Yeah.
But for me, I saw the love story, and I liked that it wasn't like, oh, I'm a Disney princess. I just met you, and I'm magically in love with you already. It was more of, no, I really hate you, and I'd kind of like to kill you, but you're kind of helping me out right now, so I'll tolerate you. And then grew to be like, oh, well, you're actually kind of protecting me and being kind to me, and I have feelings for you. And
I know I know one main thing people are going to ask: do we get to see Mad Max in this? Very briefly.
Yeah, they really
briefly.
recopy a scene from Fury Road.
And it's not the same exact scene, but they copy it.
Yeah. They copy it so that we get... Actually, Vince recognized it before I even recognized it. He said something to me later. He's like, did you see that scene? And I was like, I did. And he was like, you realize that's Max, right? And I was like, I did not. But now that you've said it. And then when we watched Fury Road and we get to that scene, he's like, that's the scene. And I was like, oh my God, that's the scene. That's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you have to really be paying attention to know that it's Max. But if you're really paying attention, like Vincent does, then... you know that it was him. So,
but it's not. What's his name playing it?
No.
What is his name? From Fury Road.
I don't know anything about actors. They're just.
The one that played Bane.
Yeah. I mean, I know his face. I just don't know his name. Why are you booping me? Don't boop me.
I'm looking it up.
Okay, you look it up.
So talk.
Okay, I'll talk. Sorry, the dog is always distracting me. He's coming over and snoot booping me to get my attention. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something, and then the dog. Boy, I'm getting old. I get distracted easily, and then my brain gets fried. So I liked that this one again was more about Furiosa.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah. It's more about Furiosa, and even Fury Road is really more about Furiosa and the wives. I mean, Mad Max is there. He's definitely like a parallel character, but I still felt like Furiosa was more... She was more of the...
You're talking about in Fury Road?
Yeah, she was still more central to every... She was still more of the
character.
main character than Mad Max was. What I'd like to see, especially because we were talking about it last week and we're talking about things that need to be remade, I would love to see Max's story Like, I'd love to see Tom Hardy as Mad Max before he becomes the blood bag, before he's with Furiosa. So maybe redo those initial...
No, I don't want to redo any of that. No. Have him find out what exactly happens to him between Fury Road and the last one is Beyond the Thunderdome. What happened in that time? Because when we come to see him in Fury Road, he has long hair. They cut his hair. Mm-hmm. So if you go into there, I think he has... No, he doesn't have long hair, but he's obviously gray in Thunderdome. Mm-hmm. And he has this little streak, but to get to him to the place where he was with Thunderdome.
So from the end of Fury Road to Thunderdome.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't redo any of the other movies in the series.
No. Even I mean, he did an amazing job on those. Mel Gibson did. I don't see that part being redone. I don't think there's a reason to redo those movies.
I mean, I think it's like we were talking about before, when we were talking about it last week, is the only reason to redo it would be to get it at a better level technology-wise.
But
so we're getting better effects and...
Yeah, but do you need those good effects for what the Mad Max saga is?
I mean, he is the road warrior, so there is some like road battles and stuff that you see.
Yeah, but you even got that in the Road Warrior. You got that in Beyond the Thunderdome.
I know, but I would just like to see it more like briefly. In a more modern, like with more modern fanfare and I don't know. Maybe because I really liked Mad Max in theory, but I wished it had been better. Now that I've revisited it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like when we first saw it, of course, it was fantastic, right? And we're like, oh my God, this is so awesome.
Maybe redo the no, I don't even think you can redo the original.
The original was so boring, though. Like, again,
not
sure how they got the rest of them after.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know how they went from there to the Road Warrior. But it was only the Road Warrior here in the United States. Everywhere else, it was Mad Max.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like the name The Road Warrior. I mean, that seemed like very fitting, right? I don't know. I would like to see them continue with the Mad Max storyline and let's see him out there in other places with the cannibals and stuff like we saw in Road Warrior and mm-hmm. I would, there's nobody like Tina Turner, obviously, but I would even be okay with, seeing a redoing of Thunderdome.
I just don't see a reason to do it because the idea of it was to be gritty.
Yeah, but you could.
And they still did that. They still did the same kind of shots they did in all the rest of them. In these new ones.
Yeah. I don't know. Some of the reason why I think that things should be...
You just don't like Mel Gibson for some reason.
No, it has nothing to do with that. Like, I loved all the Lethal Weapons and everything else. Anyway, my contingency has been and will probably continue to be, just like it is with Star Wars and anything else, here are things that we loved in the 80s, right? Mm-hmm. That to us were great. And iconic and almost cult-like to an extent. So let's modernize them and let's get them out to new audiences because there's no way the kids of today want to see the stuff that we saw in the 80s. It's not, they're just going to think it's laughable. I know for a fact they think it's laughable. So let's modernize it and let's give them those storylines that we loved so much, but in a modern way so that they'll love it too.
I think in Beyond the Thunderdome, like the death looked less fakey
To us.
than the other two.
To us. But again.
Than the other two.
Yeah. But again, if you're talking about bringing the stories out to, 18 to 30-year-olds, they don't want to see that stuff from the 80s.
Well, why do you have to? Because all of these movies have stood on their own. Like, you didn't need the rest of the other movies to see them because there were chunks in his life.
No, I know, but I don't know. I just feel like if you're going to keep the story going, you revisit some of the old stuff.
I highly disagree if we're going to remake. But that's the thing. I wouldn't want to ever remake that.
Like, so you're telling me that you had a problem with the new Dune movies? Because that's a remake of something that was very iconic when we were growing up.
But we got a very shortened version of what Dune was when it first came out. The original.
So what I'm saying is
I don't think you could do that same movie over again. This new Dune is a completely, even though it has a lot of the same stuff, it's completely different.
Well, it takes more from the book.
Right.
You get more from the book.
Right.
But here's my contingency. You see Fury Road. You get to go back and see Furiosa and what her timeline is before Fury Road. Then I need to go back and see Mad Max and what his timeline is so that I know parallel where they are before they come together. I don't want to go see Mel Gibson do it.
Why?
Because I'm a kid. I don't want to go see that poorly made movie. I'm going to think it's laughable. I'm not going to watch it. It's not going to interest me. But if I see a new iteration of it and I see their parallels, then maybe I'm going to be hooked.
I think the issue is we need to watch it from end to end. We need to start from Mad Max and go all the way to Beyond the Thunderdome.
Okay. And then if we do and I'm right, then will you tell everybody that I'm right?
Probably not, because I'll still think that it doesn't need... Because I think it's the same guy that's doing the whole saga, right? Mm-hmm. And he did this for a reason.
Isn't he the one that
to
did
not redo anything?
Isn't he the one that did the black and white movie?
Frank Miller?
Yeah. Sin City?
This was George Miller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, see, I don't know anything.
Frank Miller is American. I think this guy's Australian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm right here. It's okay.
So, no, I mean, it's just a continuation.
Why are you such a purist about this?
I'm a purist on this one.
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
On this one,
you're
I'm
not
a
usually
purist.
a purist. So why are you such a purist? What do you think? What do you think that's all about?
Because I don't think you can necessarily improve upon it. You can go through and re-edit, re-digitize that stuff and fix those areas that look fakey, and then you're good to go.
I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen The Road Warrior. So I think after this show, we'll go and we'll watch The Road Warrior, and I'll see how I feel. I'll see if I change my mind. I feel like even when The Road Warrior was first out, it was like good, but I didn't think it was like epic. So I'll see what I think. We'll revisit it, I suppose. I thought Furiosa and Fury Road were epic. To me, those were epic. Like, I have watched Fury Road multiple times, and once Furiosa comes out and we can watch it, I will watch it multiple times. I will probably watch it in tandem with Fury Road.
Yeah. Yeah. But like I said, I just want to be able to see what happens between Fury Road and Beyond the Thunderdome.
So have you heard anything? Are they making
I haven't heard anything about
other ones?
Yeah,
or?
no, I would like them to, because I would like to see Max again.
Yeah.
For more than like 4 seconds.
He's in Fury Road more than 4 seconds. I mean, he's a blood bag for quite a long time in Fury Road.
No, well, more than 4 seconds.
Oh, in Furiosa.
In Furiosa.
Yeah. Well, you get to see him in Fury Road. Again, he's fairly a parallel character. Not as much as Furiosa. It's mostly about Furiosa, which is fine. Like you said, they're trying to take and give us other characters from the world aside from just Max.
Yeah. Because on Fury Road, she wouldn't have been able to do anything without Max.
Yeah.
At all. So he needed to be there. Yeah. And this is the first one we get 4 seconds of Max in the movie, and then it's not even Tom Hardy or Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
It costs too much for a back shot.
Yeah, right.
And you're not even going to see his face. You don't need, because you don't need, for that shot, you don't need his face.
You don't need to see his face.
Anybody could have played that.
If it was me, I'd have gone super cheap and I would have just I just would have cut in the scene from the first movie and just cut it back in, you know?
Yeah.
That would have been me, so. It might be interesting to have Mel Gibson be, you know, like some old guy he meets. I don't even know if Mel Gibson acts anymore after going crazy and all the stuff that happened with him. I don't think he does act. Oh, he's done a couple of little.
He directs.
Yeah, and
more.
he's done a couple of movies that didn't do very well. So yeah, but it might be
Jacob
interesting.
Tamuri plays Mad Max in this movie.
Oh yeah.
The back of him.
The back of him. It's his stunt double. It might be interesting to see if they could get Mel Gibson to come in. If they do another Mad Max where it's strictly Mad Max, and just have Mel Gibson do a cameo where he's somebody that he meets or whatever, like along the way, going to where he gets to Thunderdome or whatever.
People really hate.
People do really hate Mel Gibson,
yeah.
So
he was a really good actor.
He was back in the day, and then he's gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, so, you know. Yeah. You know, I don't know what to say. Actors are just humans, too, I guess. Make mistakes, say ugly, ugly things, have really bad ideas about stuff, so. So, yeah, but overall.
I don't know, maybe they make another one where. I have an idea for it, so if you want...
Okay, now more people that need Vince to write for them.
I have an idea for him.
Okay, go.
So, to get him where he is in Thunderdome, something dramatic has to happen to him because he doesn't care about anything anymore at the beginning of the Thunderdome. It takes him a while to care for those kids.
Yeah.
Again. And he didn't want to, like, at all.
Yeah.
In Thunderdome. So do something that completely wrecks everything. Because at the beginning of Beyond the Thunderdome, he still has his car.
Which is going to be hard to do.
No, the car was still there. They didn't destroy his car.
They didn't destroy his car in the past?
No. In Fury Road, his car was still there because they were still driving his car.
Yeah, but I thought that it got destroyed when they went through the pass. Maybe it didn't. I could have sworn it got destroyed, but anyway, maybe it didn't.
No, they didn't have it then because they knocked them out a long time before they even got to the pass.
They didn't do the firebomb on it?
That was a different car.
I thought he
Not
said,
his car.
my car. Like when he was the blood bag, I thought he said, my car.
Yeah, because it was there with them, but it wasn't destroyed.
So then first he'd have to go back to where it was stranded or whatever and fix it. Then he'd have to drive it around and get to where the Thunderdome was.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of in the mood to want to watch that whole series again. So I guess I know what we're doing this weekend.
Yeah.
I'll even start with Mad Max too. So I gotta find where that is.
Gross.
No, but I really enjoyed this movie. I think it was a great continuation of the saga. I can't wait till they do more. I hope they do what happens after Fury Road into Beyond the Thunderdome, and see what happens. And then maybe you bring back Tom Hardy again to play that character. I think would be good. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. Again, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and click that notification bell so the next time we go live, you'll know. But thanks for checking us out. I'm Vince.
I'm Colleen.
Geek out, SA.